Personal care in ancient Rome might not be everybody's cup of tea. Some of the practices differ in unexpected ways from modern ideas. Roman body care was in fact quite elaborate and by far not limited to Roman baths, which initially might come to mind. We know enough about Roman everyday life to come up with a realistic but fictional daily routine of a well-loved Roman woman. Let's have a look at the morning routine of the infamous Claudia Pulchra, Claudia the Beautiful, that is. She lived in the 1st century BC and stemmed from an old aristocratic family of the Roman nobility. After a good night's sleep, Claudia would get out of bed and go to the latrina, the house toilet. Once she had done the business, she would turn her attention to a cup of water, which her slaves carefully prepared and put ready right next to her. This cup she would use to wash her backside, probably with their hands. We know of this method thanks to a few hints found by an expert regarding the mysteries of the ancient Roman toilet, Gilbert Wipplinger. He and many other scholars recently cast doubt on the common view that the Romans used sponges on a stick to clean their backside. Alternative cleaning methods encompass pieces of cloth, stones and even garlic peel. With their business done, Claudia would turn towards dental care. She'd first use a toothpick to remove the rests of her midnight snack. Then she would clean her teeth with a tooth powder based on natron. Finally, she would rinse her mouth with clear water. As an alternative to natron powder, she could have used ashes of donkey's teeth, donkey milk, or, perhaps, her own urine. Those things, you must know, were not only believed to keep the teeth clean, but also to reduce bad breath. Next, to prepare herself for the coming day, Claudia would call her servants to remove the face masks she had been wearing overnight. Face masks were an important part of Roman women's beauty culture. They were applied in the dormitory of the domina, the mistress, before going to bed. Several recipes for masks were believed to rejuvenate the skin. Mixtures based on botanicals were recommended, for example, by the popular poet Publius Ovidius Naso. The scholar Pliny, in contrast, suggests much stranger ingredients. Placenta, animal excrements and intestines, as well as donkey milk, make the list. Speaking of peculiarly unpleasant things, next up in Claudia's morning routine was the removal of body hair. To get rid of it, her slaves would have either used a pair of tweezers or some depilatory cream consisting of resin and oils. The cream seems to have been very stressing to the skin. The pain of the procedure is recorded by Seneca the Elder, a senator who complained about the noise coming from the baths all day long. He especially goes for the alipili, the hair pluckers. I'll paraphrase. Imagine a hair plucker constantly screaming to draw attention to himself, who only breaks off when he finds someone to depilate. Now he makes the other scream even louder than he did before. We shouldn't be surprised about these screams. It was common among Roman women to remove body hair on their legs, but also on their armpits. Some extended this to their genital area and the arms. Although men who removed their body hair were considered effeminate, the Emperor Augustus himself supposedly had burned off the hair on his legs with heated nutshells. After having her body hair torn out, Claudia would wash herself with a sponge, water and lupin flour, natron or soda as a sort of shampoo. Soap, as we know it today, is a mixture of fat and alkaline ingredients. In the 1st century BC, when it was discovered, it became first known as a hair colorant. It only caught on as a cleaning tool much later. The soap commonly used in ancient Rome was made of goat fat and ashes from birchwood or the like. A new and exciting product on the Roman beauty market were the pilae maticae, soap balls imported from Germany, used to dye the hair blonde. Claudia would have sent her ornatrix, her personal hairdresser slave, to get some as soon as possible. Before dyeing, the ornatrix needed to pluck out some scattered grey hairs. Very unwelcome guests, shortly to be removed right before the new blonde color was applied. Alternative dyers were ashes or henna, who caused the hair to glow in red. Some sources also mention women who wear their hair in eye-catching bright blue. To hide their graying hair, many Romans, men and women alike, frequently dyed their hair. With her hair as blonde as gold, Claudia would have ordered her ornatrix to comb her hair and tie it in a subtle and simple knot in her neck. She was keen to present her hair clean and tidy, yet without extravagance. Extravagance was a distinctive feature of easy girls. Investing too much time in the outward appearance could look vain. Simple hairstyles were popular among Romans throughout the Republican era. Only when the women at the court of the emperors began to dictate the current fashion trends, the hairstyles became more flamboyant. To prepare the skin of her face for the rest of the cultus, the beauty routine, Claudia Pulchra would wash her face with the milk of a donkey. This was to prevent wrinkles. Next up, her slaves would turn towards the numerous precious vessels containing rare substances from all around the world. It was so common to apply makeup in ancient Rome that Ovid, ever concerned with topics such as beauty and sexuality, wrote a didactic poem called Medicamina Faciae Feminae, Remedies for the Female Face. Because a tanned face was a sign of a working class person, white skin was considered beautiful and distinguished the upper class from their inferiors. That's why the foundation of a good makeup was face whitener. There were several substances used for this, ranging from chalk powder dispersed in honey or fat to white lead, even though it was already known to be poisonous. The importance of fair skin simply outweighed this fact. But there were even more outlandish remedies such as crocodile dung. But the historian Kelly Olsen argued that this might have either been a metaphor for Ethiopian soil or a potshot to women who wanted to be beautiful so desperately that they readily smeared their faces with animal dung. However, Claudia's slaves would then apply some rouge on top of the whitener, since red cheeks were considered to signify health and beauty. Again, there are several possibilities to mix a rouge. The most common ingredients were litmus lichen, or minerals such as red chalk or ochre. A cheap alternative was dregs of wine. To finish this artwork of a face, the eyelashes and eyebrows were penciled over with fuligo, a black substance made from soot or lamp black. The eyeshadows and eyelid lines were colored in green or blue. Although it is highly possible that lipstick was used too, no evidence for this has survived. Due to the composition of the makeup, it had to be applied again and again several times throughout the day. But beware, one had to be careful not to apply too much. While a decent makeup was considered an embellishing, too much could make one wonder whether it was really applied to delight their own husbands. All prepared Roman style, Claudia, the beautiful, would cast a glance at the mirror to make sure everything was in perfect order before she joined her husband, greeting his clients.